Welcome back to the Emerald Coast Sports Show. I'm Gehrig Gesch, as always, joined by my man, Christopher Saul. How are we feeling today?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here, good to be live, and good to be talking a little bit of sports, bro.
That's right. It's almost 4th of July, but before we get to that famous holiday, let's talk a little bit about sports. We got a packed agenda today. We have some officials talk, and then we have some golf talk as well, locally and in terms of the PGA, and then some facelifts to the Niceville High School basketball gym. Let's get right into the official talk. Last week, I spent some time talking with Mr. Justin Harrison over at FHSAA, as well as Michael Parks, head of referees over there at Mutual Strip Officials Association. You actually dropped a story a few years ago on an official shortage, and it turns out that it hasn't really gotten better, has it?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I write this story with Michael Parks. Somebody had said to me, the real problem is that there aren't any officials, right? And so I was like, yeah, okay, how many officials could there possibly be missing? Well, at that point, they had like 28 total for like every sport across the Emerald Coast, basically, from like west of Tallahassee all the way to Pensacola. And he gave me one stat that was like, if I have 3 guys get sick in a weekend, like we're having a varsity football game on Saturday morning. And I just thought that was bananas. So I talked to you and you were like, hey, let's see if this has gotten any better. What'd you find?
Well, really, it hasn't. It's been an issue that I think from what I understand, the issue is no longer trying to keep up and not have a referee shortage, trying to be creative with the shortage that's at hand. I think it's an issue that both people at the local and the state level think there's really no concrete solution to at the moment. So right now what they're doing is they're finding creative solutions in terms of recruiting these refs. I know I talked with Justin Harrison at FHSAA. He said already down in South Florida that they're playing games Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, you name it. So that's one of the repercussions that we're dealing with, is kind of the end of traditional Friday night light football, but there's really just no way to recruit these guys. The guys are getting older and they're not being replaced by young guys, and that's where the challenge presents itself.
Well, not only that, but like I think about it from a fan's perspective, or even like I coached like U10 lacrosse for a couple of years, and like that's rec ball, and it's not, and people still get mad about it and like start hurling abuse at the refs and stuff like that. And so I got to wonder, like, are these guys getting paid enough for this? And if they are, how do we tell more people about that? Or is it a pay thing? You said it's an age thing. Like ultimately, yeah. What are the main factors that the FHSAA is saying leads to this like shortage that we can't get out of?
Yeah, they ran a survey a couple of years back kind of asking refs what the main reason they think would be reasons that there's a shortage. And you would kind of expect that number one to come back as pay. They don't get paid as much as they wanted to. But the number one reason, you kind of alluded to it, was sportsmanship. You have not just players, but parents as well, just verbal barrages, attacks on these referees. And that's, if it's me, I'm not going to go out to a high school football game to get yelled at for, 60 minutes or however long, whatever sport and however long it's going to take. That's the big issue. Pay came back second. That's an issue as well. And then it's time commitments, it's age. Interesting stat, since the 60s, the average age of officials in the state of Florida has only ever increased and gotten older, has never stopped growing. So that's another area of concern. But those 3 reasons, as well as just some legal requirements and hoops you have to jump through to even become a referee these days, those all contribute to the problem.
So you kind of kicked around the fact that like it's hard to get people to actually show up to be refs. So did you find that the FHSAA has you said, it's not getting any easier. They're not finding like a magic bullet, but like, what are they doing to like alleviate the shortage at this point?
Yeah, so one thing they're doing is actually 2 years ago, the head of FHSAA, Mr. Craig Damon, he actually created a new department called the Official Services Department. It's a 3-person crew, and what they're basically in charge of is providing services for the officials, such as education, training, kind of creating an easier platform to become a referee, if that makes sense. Because to become a referee, you do have to become sanctioned with these local organizations like Miracle Strip, as well as registered for FHSAA. Before that department, it was kind of a big runaround to even really get your name into the running to become a referee. And so that has kind of been a bridge from locally to the state level to become a referee. And then they just have different training services, new partner websites like RefReps, which is what they basically do is they have live referee body cam footage, and it allows these referees to watch calls, make their calls real time before they go out in the field. It makes their job easier. Now, that doesn't necessarily help them recruit more refs, but it makes it more appealing to someone who's maybe checking it out and who maybe wants to become a ref. It's more of a home for them, if that makes sense.
So at this point, zebras are pretty much an endangered species, right? How do can we get them like a reservation somewhere in Africa where they can like hang out during the off season? I mean, what what do we have to do in order? Do they have any way possible to increase just like raw numbers? I mean, do they have the potential to pay them more? Is that even a thing that could happen? Can they conscript a bunch of like 22-year-old, college graduates? I mean, how does this all work?
Yeah, it's interesting because the number of referees is actually increasing per year. However, they cannot keep up with the number of schools that are becoming sanctioned with FHSAA, teams that are adding athletic departments, new sports. When I talked with Mr. Harrison, the one thing he mentioned was sports like lacrosse. You cannot find guys that know how to officiate lacrosse. And now schools are picking up lacrosse teams at a rapid pace, and they're not really picking up those officials to match. So it's not necessarily an issue of getting more guys. It's maybe getting more guys at the same rate as these schools are being added. And so I think after talking with Mr. Harrison and Mr. Parks, they both believe that this is going to be a problem for the foreseeable future, and it's not really they don't have what it takes to match that rate at this moment.
I mean, because I came up playing lacrosse, and I think it's a great sport, but you're right. Like when you have lacrosse and soccer and track and field and bowling and I don't know, whatever.
I don't know how to officiate bowling. I don't know about you.
Like roll ball good? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, at some point something's got to give. Did they kind of give any like indication of like whether or not it's going to be like, okay, boys, like we can't get the lacrosse games this week, or we can't get the volleyball games this week because all the football guys and those, football makes more revenue for schools, so we got to protect that first. Did they give any indication about that?
Not necessarily the smaller sports like lacrosse and volleyball, like you mentioned, but the one thing that I do know is that these local sanction groups, they're not necessarily over the smaller sports, more so the big sports. I know Miracle Strip is over football, baseball, basketball, and you're kind of left with outside entities to find the referees for the smaller sports. And one thing we've already seen, I mentioned earlier, is that you have to play football games already Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if your big sports like that are suffering, you have to imagine the small sports are suffering as well. All right, let's move into our next little bit on the agenda. The Fort Walton Beach Golf Club is getting TrackMan on the range. That's pretty exciting.
What is TrackMan? I'm not a golf guy, and my granddad would die to hear me say that, but I've played maybe half a round of golf in my life before I got angry and quit. So, like, what is TrackMan? Why is this even? What does this do?
Yeah, so TrackMan is basically a GPS system for your golf shot. It'll tell you carry, distance, how hard you hit it, swing speed, club path. It's going to tell you everything you want to know as a golfer that there's no way you would know from just looking at a ball. It's statistic driven. And what it is, it's this box that sits behind you, picks up the golf ball, picks up your swing, and then it's going to show all those numbers. It's going to spit it out on a little screen. I think it's a really, really cool addition for the Fort Walton Beach Golf Club, especially, you would think you'd find this TrackMan edition at a club, maybe at a Sandestin club or something, in Walton County. To get it here in Fort Walton, I think that's a huge, huge get for that club.
So does it only work like on the tee box, or like, are you doing like putts with it too?
So what it'll be is it'll be on the range. They're going to have 25 TrackMan boxes on the range, so you can hit drives, irons, approach shots, wedge shots, all those kind of shots. You can have the data for that. So I know they're paying for it, monthly payment. I think that number was around $7,000. Not sure on the exact number, but the way they're paying for it is in user fees. So the price of the range balls are going to go up. They are already really fairly priced. It was 3, 7, and 10 for a small, medium, large, and it's going to go to 5, 10, and 15. If you go to other golf courses around the area, that's kind of already what they're at. So I think everything here is going well for Fort Walton Beach Golf Club. I think the users, personally, if I go to Fort Walton Beach Golf Club, I'm going to be willing to pay the extra $2, $3, or $4 for whatever size bucket I want if I'm going to have the TrackMan amenities to go with.
Because it basically it increases the amount of learning or skill that you can grow in a shorter time because you have all that data.
For sure. Say you're just starting out playing golf. You don't really know how far your clubs go. You get in the course, you need to hit a 150-yard shot. The TrackMan is going to help you with that. You know which club you've been hitting 150, and so you're going to be able to pull that club. It's going to pay off on the range, and it's going to pay off on the course as well. And I think it's a really cool thing because the Fort Walton Beach Golf course is a nice course. The range is really nice. It's a lit range, so you can go at night. I think that's going to make it really fun.
It's lit. Nice.
It's lit. So that's what's going on in Fort Walton Beach in terms of golf. And then more golf, we have the PGA Tour. I don't even know what you want to call it at this point. It's
boondoggle?
Yeah, something
tomfoolery?
like a kerfuffle, maybe. I don't know.
Ooh, a kerfuffle, you
That's
dog.
but yeah. So what's been going on is Walton County and a couple different groups, the BCC and the TDC, which we'll get into in a second, have been in negotiations with the PGA to bring a PGA Tour event to the Panhandle in either September or October of 2026. And that has caused, let's just say, some issues.
Yeah, so basically, from what I understand, right, is that the PGA came in and said, "Hey, if you give us $30 million in 5 years, we'll bring you a PGA event." And like, I mean, they cited like Myrtle Beach as the gold standard. Like, hey, if you do this, it'll be like Myrtle Beach, and it'll bring in however, I think it was like 15 or 20 million dollars of impact in a weekend. But from what I've heard tell in our reporting, that's not good enough. Basically, they need more proof or something like that, right?
Yeah, and right now the tourism is down this year, especially. I think 4.6% was the number, and so that's become a major concern. If you host a tournament like this, you know your tourism growth and spending is already down. Is this going to affect it further? Right now, I know the Tourism Development Council has voted pretty firmly no for this PGA Tour event, but then you have the Board of County Commissioners who are kind of like, maybe let's see what happens and let's do it anyway. And so right now, the one big thing that's missing is there's really no terms and conditions. There's no contract from the PGA outlining what this tournament would look like, where it would be. There's no details. And I think that's what the next step is right now, is for this subgroup within the Board of County Commissioners that include a couple tourism people, a couple county people, and then a bed tax collector as well. So they're trying to come up with the conditions, so to speak, of what this tournament may look like. I think that's the next biggest step, is them taking this to the PGA and saying, how does this look like? We need more concrete details. And I think we'll go from there.
And so, Gary, you golf, right? And you follow the PGA. And I would say I'm much more casual. I'll watch like the Masters. I'll watch Sunday of the Masters. You know, how popular would this be here? Would this work? I mean, would they make enough money to make $6 million?
Now, that's a good question. I think that's where everyone's torn. I think yes. I want to say yes, because the PGA, they just had a change of commissioner, so they have new leadership up top. They still have guys like Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. I know there's been kind of a widespread departure to the new Live tournament, but the PGA is still prestigious. It's still the number one golfing tournament in the world, and I think you bring in that star power, and then you can kind of tie it in with, you know, come vacation down in Destin, taking the PGA Tour, taking the beach. You have all that, similar to like what you were saying with Myrtle Beach. It's really good for tourism. So I do think it'll work, especially with the caliber courses we have down here. There are plenty of options to choose from, and I think that's very attractive to the fans as well.
So you, as a young guy that could probably give up a weekend to go to the tournament, right? What's the price point that gets you in the door to come see this live in your backyard?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never been to like one of these smaller scale PGA Tour events. I know there are tons of different events at different prices. I went to the Tour Championship a few years back. I don't remember how much I paid for that, but I think if I'm a high school student, someone who's going to Niceville High School, say, and I play golf casually on the weekends, I'm willing to go see this tournament for like $5,200 probably. Yeah. So I think it's a really good opportunity to see some of the best players in the world playing right in your backyard. And I think there's really nothing better than that. You're not going to find better of an opportunity to go see these guys play.
Yeah, because the trade-off is like, right, this is going to be like a shoulder season tournament, but it's also going to be kind of a, I don't want to say less prestigious, but it is, right? Like it's not, you know, the Open or something. And so,
sure.
Yeah, you're not going to get like the biggest names in golf, but you might get the next biggest names in golf. And I wonder like how much that's worth, right? So I'm trying to think of somebody like Ernie Els, right? Who's got to be like pushing 70 at this point. I don't know. But like, let's say Ernie Els is like on the card, right? Like I might go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like fun. And seeing like some of the older guys, maybe if it's like a senior tour. But I guess my biggest question after like, would people show up is like, where are they going to park? And like, that's like the ultimate Walton County question is like, great, they have awesome beaches and great amenities, but where are they going to park?
Yeah, and the parking, that one's tough. And like you said, until we get this contract with the details, we don't even know what course they're playing this at.
Yeah.
So that's like issue number one. Where are you going to play it? Once you figure that out, you probably have like 50 parking spots max in like the parking lot. And then you're going to have to get in the public lots. You're going to have to get in the shuttles, shuttling these fans to the event. That becomes a whole nother set of discussions to have in the future.
You know, the 3 Uber drivers in our 2 counties are like sitting here like this, like,
please, 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 please. Yeah. Yep.
and I don't blame them. I mean, can you imagine the surge pricing on that? It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be biblical.
Yeah, it will be something like we've never seen before for sure.
They literally just like won't work for the rest of the year. It'll be like those guys in like Nicaragua that like work for a month and then surf for 11 months. And honestly, I'm here for it.
And they're going to make a living off of it. They're going to make a living. So that will be interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing if that'll happen. I know the next step, like I said, was creating that subgroup, coming with a contract. Next time we have more information on that, we will get it to you. But for now, let's go to Niceville High School, where their high school gym, the basketball gym, has received a facelift. It looks really good. Bro,
it's good. It's nice. It is high caliber, my guy. I mean, Coach Megan Darhauer gave us an interview about that, and we'll be releasing that in the next couple of days. But for her, I mean, yeah, everything, the upgrade is nice, but it's kind of like the mental commitment that is, that coach, I keep calling him coach, principal Charlie Morello has put into the basketball team, which, I mean, the gals team has been pretty good. They're typically playoff contenders. The guys team are kind of like erstwhile playoff contenders. They might get in, they might not. And so they had to put cheddar behind this, right? Like Charlie Morello had to make a decision and say, like, if we're getting this, then somebody's not getting something else.
Yeah.
And I think that says something about like what they think about the basketball program going forward.
Yeah. And like you said, that girls basketball program has been really successful. Back-to-back 10-0 district seasons in the last 2 years, and then back-to-back regional final appearances as well, still looking to break through there. But I think it's 100% deserved. I know when I went to Niceville High School, the gym could have used that facelift. And now we see Niceville really pouring into athletics.
That was so charitable, Gehrig.
Hey.
That was nice. The taxpayers of Okaloosa County appreciate you.
Just saying how I see it. But we've seen with that new gym overlooking the football field, and now with this other gym facelift, we've seen a lot of time and money and going into these athletic programs, which I think have received a lot of success in the last couple of years, and it's rightful attention for them as well.
It's going to be really cool, especially, I mean, the guys program is going to be really great. Last year, they graduated like 6 guys, but the girls have, I think, 5 seniors on this team. One of them, Carson Fayard, has already gotten several offers to go play at a couple of Division I schools, a couple of JUCOs, and then they have some really solid talent coming off the bench. I know they have at least, I think, 1 junior and 1 sophomore that got somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5 to 7 minutes last year. And I mean, when you have 5 juniors at that time, like, that's incredible to be even getting minutes at all, right? So I'm really excited about what this girls team is going to do this year. I think that, like, it's got to be this year. Like, the talent has moved to this point. They've worked so hard, and they're all seniors. And so to have a brand new basketball court to play on, like, I mean, it's got to mean something. And they got like the script on the side, This
is the Eagle's Nest and script. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful branding, especially for high school, man. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
100%. You have Carson Fayard, and then, like you said, those 5 other seniors around her. That's the team right there. That's who you want to build around. You have a great coach at the helm, Coach Darhauer. Really, really looking forward to Lady Eagles hoops this year.
Right on.
And that brings us to the break. On the other side, when we return, Christopher sat down with Northern Illinois commit Justus Donahoo. We'll have that interview to you in just a moment.
Looking for a great place to call home? Well, you need a really good realtor to make something like that happen. That's where Cindy Zimmerman comes in. Cindy Z is the best person to help you find your perfect home here in the Emerald Coast, whether that's in Crestview or Fort Walton, here in Niceville, or in 30A. She is the person you want to talk to if you want to get the right home for you. Check out CindyZSellsHomes.com or give her a call at 850-974-0869 today. Justus Donahoo is here with us today. He is, of course, a key member of the Niceville Eagles secondary, but he's also made a big announcement this week. He's going to go play football at Northern Illinois University. So, Justus, first things first, man, how do you feel?
I feel excited, getting the opportunity to play D1 ball at the next level. Not many people can do that, so I'm very excited.
And, I mean, you had several offers, man, right? Like, this is not, just 1 or 2 schools. A lot of people wanted you to come play ball for them. How does it feel to go through that recruiting process, and what helped you make your final decision on Northern Illinois?
So to go through that recruiting time, for me personally, it really popped off my going into my junior year. So, and then after my junior year, a lot of schools did come and offer me in the spring. And ultimately, for me to pick NIU, it was the aspect of them treating me like family, treating my family like family, and the coaches just always being on me and just always showing support. And then another thing is the opportunity to come in day one and make a difference and have a just have a chance to come in and just start. That was my biggest thing.
So, I mean, this past year, I mean, a Final Four appearance, and I'll never forget you taking down a ball at the goal line to advance in the playoffs. I think it was Ponte Vedra, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Was just electric, man. What about the next level excites you the most? What are you looking forward to when you get to play on Saturdays?
For me, I think my biggest thing, especially going to NIU, will be taking down the P4 schools. So last year they beat Notre Dame, as everybody knows. So that I feel like that's my biggest thing right there.
Looking forward to this football season with Niceville. A lot of changes, right? New coach, probably some new schemes, new things to look forward to. What are you looking to do this year at Niceville High School as an individual and then as a team member?
As an individual, man, just stay healthy. That's my biggest thing right now. Stay healthy so I can go to college and be able to just move as soon as I get there, because I'll be leaving in December. So I'll get there early. Yes, sir. And then as a team, just take every game 1 week at a time, because we can't just keep worrying about other games. Right now, new coaches, new staff, new playbook, just leadership, and just week by week wins.
So you're going to Northern Illinois in December. It's kind of cold there in December. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah, I'm ready. I got my coats and everything already. So I'll be ready.
Are they thick enough? Because
I hope so.
Here's the deal, man. Is I'll go up to the north to go see my brother or whatever, and I have a coat that I think is warm, right?
Yeah.
And it never is. It just never is, man.
Yeah, I gotta be ready for it. So,
right on. So, anything else you're looking forward to in Northern Illinois in town? Were there other specific things besides the football team and the ability to play early that drew you to that campus or to that town?
Yeah, so the club is where it's at. So it's located. It's like a smaller town, and the support is crazy. We've talked to people from up there. We've seen it, and everybody's just about NIU football. Everybody. So that's another thing. Just like Niceville. I
was about to say, it's just like a bigger Niceville then, right?
Yeah, just like Niceville.
Very cool. Well, Justus, anything else you want people out there, fans of Niceville football or NIU football now, to know about this decision or what's coming next for Justus?
So what's coming next? Fall football's coming up, so everybody be ready. Everybody come to the games. Don't sleep on us. We coming back. Just know we coming back.
Right on. So that first football game is away at Tallahassee Lincoln, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so that's last week of August, and then they're back in town. They're going to be playing people in town. I believe you have Choctaw at home this year. I believe you have Crestview at home this year. So a lot of good games to catch this year in Niceville, in the Eagles' Nest. So we're looking forward to it, brother, and best of luck this season. We'll be seeing you soon.
Welcome back. That was good to hear from Justus Donahoo. A lot of insight there. Really exciting player and a really good commitment, Chris. What don't you think?
Man, my Justus Donahoo moment took place last year in the playoffs when they played Ponte Vedra, and they beat Ponte Vedra, I believe, by a point, because Ponte Vedra went for 2 to end it. And I believe he intercepted the ball. Yeah, I thought he knocked it down, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think he intercepted, ran off the field. Those big, when they run with their legs out kind of thing, and it's overpronounced. And everybody, the student section was right by the student section on the north side, going totally bananas. People were hugging, just complete and utter joy. It was a really special moment to see that young man get to be in the middle of that. There's maybe, every year 100 moments like that in all of high school sports.
Mm-hmm.
And to be a part of that it was really cool. And I got to talk to him about it afterwards. And like, the guy was just like, my team this, my team that, my team this, my team that. Like, it wasn't like, Justus Donahoo have single-handedly prevailed against Ponte Vedra. Like it. And so for a kid with enough talent to go play Division I football and to potentially get the start as a freshman at Northern Illinois, because that's a realistic possibility. It's really cool to see good kids win, right? And so for him to make this choice and find a place that he likes, he talked about Northern Illinois, as he said in the interview, kind of like I kind of likened it to like a bigger Niceville, where everybody's like really on board for the football team. They beat Notre Dame last year. So it's a cool win, and right on the heels of Robert Stith getting that offer and accepting it to West Virginia. There's a couple of other players that still haven't made commitments that are still getting tons of offers. I haven't seen an SMU offer yet, which I'm not happy about.
You're gonna have to speak to your alumni association over there and tell them to get going. I
got a call with Rhett later. My fever dream is an SMU kid from Niceville, and that's the culmination of everything we do here at Mid-Bay News, is for me to get one kid from Niceville on the SMU football team.
We can finally rest when that happens.
Yeah, I'll give everybody the week off.
I'm there for it. Now I want it to happen. Shoot.
See?
There we go.
You're in now. We're all ponies now.
All right. Excellent stuff there. What's on the docket? What do we have coming up next week?
Oh, gosh. Well, as everything progresses, as we get more and more and closer to football season, we're going to be getting stuff from you about the 12 biggest teams that have consequence for us here on the Emerald Coast. So, of course, that means Niceville, but it also means South Walton and Freeport and Walton, Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Choctaw, of course, Destin High School, who has made some serious moves in the offseason. It's going to be interesting to see how the Sharks do this year. So I'm excited for all that stuff from you. And then you've got a couple more smaller pieces. What do you got kind of on the docket as you're looking forward?
Yeah, so definitely I'm looking forward to going to those schools, as you mentioned. A couple new articles that I have kind of coming down the pipeline. Really want to get into the coach's pay. That's a big one that I know a lot of people wonder about in the state of Florida. It's very different here. I want to get in depth with that. And there's other things like, where's the best place to go to school if you want to play at the next level? Where are some of these commits going now? And other small stories like that. So looking forward to it. Going to be a great summer of sports here at Mid-Bay News. All right, that's going to take us to the end. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Emerald Coast Sports Show.